Yo, what's up, guys? So, I've been trying to build a trading bot for like the longest time, 2 months or so. I tested so many strategies, so many, and literally none of them are profitable over time, 20 years to be exact, on any asset class. And all of them had like such a huge period of drawdown. Like, I was like, bro, how the hell am I going to mentally go through all of this drawdown, right? And all of the drawdowns are like unpredictable, right? Because the market's always changing. So since I tested like so many strategies, ITT, RSI, knowing that they're not consistent, I was like, why don't I just trade based off recent market data? And I'll show you like what I mean here in a second. Oh shit, let me remove this. Okay. So basically, let me. Oh, there's a lot to go over. Fuck. So just stick with me. But right here in the bottom right section or bottom right corner, basically, there's a range that forms every 9:30 to 10:30. Ignore that; it says 10:25, but that's how the indicator is um, kind of tracks data. By the way, I took all these concepts from M7DR and kind of fine tuned them into short-term trading data, if that makes sense. Okay, so basically, when this 9:30 to 10:30 range forms, there's a high and a low from drawn from the wicks. Okay, if any time in the New York session, by the way, we're only trading New York session, if any time through 10:30 all the way to 16, a 5 minute candle confirms above the high, that means 80% chance this low will not get touched. Not closed, but touched. Okay? Vice versa for bear scenarios. Right? We have 100% 80. So now, when this confirmed on, by the way, I did take this trade. I'll explain later. Basically, when it confirmed right here, 80% chance that we're not coming down. So we're long here, right? Obviously. So what do we look for? Well, by the way, we want to look for the high of the day and the low of the day, or the max extension after the DR confirms and the maximum low after DR confirms. So we can see that from the last 5 sessions, we can extend that, by the way. But I like 5 personally. But zero point 0.6 right here, okay, is the average low. And then 0.69, which is the zero point 0.7 or 70% fib level, which is up here. By the way, all of these fib levels are very consistent. They're drawn every day from 9:30 to 10:30 every single day. So the data is consistent, if that makes sense. Okay. So now we know the high and the average low, right? So now where the hell do we enter, right? Okay. So knowing the average low of the day, I created an indicator that tracks data after DR confirms bullish and bearish sessions along with this as well, but I don't want to explain too much. By the way, I'm not yeah, I'm just documenting my journey. I hope you guys don't look at me like I'm a fucking snake oil salesperson. I'm simply just sharing my journey with you guys. Also, I want to know everyone's experience on backtesting data or people like me, right? Building a trading bot, obviously that takes a lot, right? You need to have strategies, which is what I've struggled with, which is why I built this entire system. But fuck, I'm yapping too much. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so for example, we know the average low of the day is 0.61, right? And we're bullish. Let me move that to 10:30. Okay, press OK. 0.6. So we can see right here, when the DR confirms, look at all these low probability setups, which this level will break through, right? Which means that this level will not be the low of the day retracement which we are looking for. 0.2, no. 0.3, no. Right, we're looking at the average day low. So ideally we're looking at the 0.6. So when we see 0.7, that looks pretty probable to me. So right here I'm looking for entry. 0.8, 0.9, right? So there's an ICT concept called a volume imbalance, and there so happens to be one right here, okay, and right here. It's an old volume imbalance, and it's been used, but from what ICT taught, you can still use broken through imbalances, but right here I entered the trade for like 3R, and I put my stop right here at 0.7. Let me fucking close this. Okay. I entered on the volume balance right here. You can see my executions here. I sold up here. Yeah, this was the trade. So yeah, I mean, we're basically just trading with probabilities. And I also look for the volume imbalances that form around the average day of the low. And if none of them are around the average low of day, then I won't really look for a trade or try to force my entry, if that makes sense. To be honest, I do need help with entry models. So if there's any traders that find this data useful or indicators useful, just let me know. But fuck, this is a boring ass video. I'm so sorry, bro. Fuck. Okay, let me. But yeah, I mean, when we kind of found a area where price was strong near the low of day to the upside, I was like, okay, if we retrace this volume imbalance, I'm entering. So I entered, and yeah, from there it was history. I mean, stop below the below the 0.7. Right, we're trading with data, and we're also using data to understand that there's a chance that we might hit the go higher. So this might not even be the high of the day. The move that retraces after the low of the day might make the move to form the high of the day. So yeah, I mean, I was targeting the IDR high, and I'll explain why. So there's something called the expansion models, which Master teaches. M7DR, that's his YouTube channel. Basically, there's a ADR session, ODR session. My indicator includes these. So basically, if all of the ranges are within each other, like this, then there's a high chance that price will look something like that, like a trumpet. Okay? Which means that we have to be conservative for our targets, right? And I'll explain later. So if we are super bullish and we want, like a scenario where we won't be conservative on our targets is if the session lows are forming higher highs and higher lows, and they aren't violating the previous session lows, if that makes sense. Which means that price has something like this, right? It's a high probability that we can target more, right? So since we are in a range expansion model and not an upside expansion model, which is where the sessions are forming a higher high and higher low, then we will target more. But in this case, since the ranges are all within each other, I just targeted the IDR high. I mean, still 5R trade. This was actually my first trade using data. Obviously, I'm still documenting my journey. But I would like to know your guys' thoughts on this as well. And if you have tested any strategy that is consistent over time, please let me know, bro. Please. Feel free to share the sauce, Feel free to share the sauce. But yeah, it was a range expansion model. I targeted the low hanging fruit. I knew it wasn't going to go that high because of the range expansion model, which is once again what M7DR10 teaches. And then you also have the 0.7. Yeah. So basically, every day I wait for the confirmation, high or the low. I look at the low and the high of the days and put them in this calculator or calculations. I see the probabilities for what levels will hold, which won't. Then I look for a volume imbalance entry that align with the low or the high of the day, depending on bullish or bearish confirmations. And I basically trade, put my stop loss very close. This is a very high RR system. I think every trader would. I honestly think that any trader can use my data or my indicators, but and then yeah, for the DR sessions, right, when it confirms and it won't reach the low, I basically every day go through my list of assets and I see which are the most consistent or has the most higher probability setups where the low or the high will hold after either side confirms. But yeah, I don't want to yap too much, but in a nutshell, that's what everything I'm doing after I guess, put aside my trading bot and decided to trade with data. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And once again, here are the executions of the trade to show you I'm not bullshitting. Obviously, first trade many to go. And once again, I'm sharing my journey with you guys. So yeah, I'll see you.